João always believed his life followed a predictable path. He worked as a lawyer at a renowned company, had a quiet routine, and a life without major surprises. However, everything changed the night he crossed paths with a stranger, a woman who would make him question everything he knew about himself, the world, and fate. Do you want to know where this story goes? Before we continue, if you want to help our channel keep bringing amazing stories, give this video a like and subscribe. If you enjoy it, turn on notifications to know when new videos are released. It was a rainy Friday night, and João was returning home after a long day of work. He always took the same route, a path he had traveled hundreds of times, never imagining that that night would be different. When he passed by the central square of the city, he saw a woman standing near the fountain, watching him with a penetrating gaze. She was alone, wearing a dark coat and an almost enigmatic calm expression. Something about her gaze made him stop, an odd sense of déjà vu, as if he had seen her somewhere before, but he couldn't remember where. The woman smiled subtly, as if she knew something he didn't. She took a step toward him, and before João could resist, the conversation began. She spoke in a calm voice, but with an unsettling confidence. "You seem lost in your own thoughts," she said, looking into his eyes. "What are you looking for?" João was surprised by the question. It wasn't the kind of thing someone would ask a stranger on the street. He tried to react, but something in his response seemed in tune with what he was feeling. "Don't know. Maybe something more, something beyond all of this," he answered, feeling that something was pulling him into this moment. The woman looked at him for a while, then, with a soft gesture, she said, "What you're looking for, you already carry inside you. But you need to pay more attention to your own path." She turned to leave, but before she did, she turned to him one last time and said, "You'll understand what I'm saying very soon. What you don't remember now will come back to find you." Intrigued and unsure why, João felt a chill run down his spine. Who was this woman? Why did he feel like she knew more than she should? The encounter seemed to make no sense, but something about it unsettled him, as if a switch had been flipped in his mind, releasing a feeling he couldn't understand. The next morning, João woke up with a strange sensation. What had seemed like a casual encounter with a stranger had now become a nightmare in his mind. He couldn't shake her smile, nor the way she seemed to know so much about him. He tried to ignore it, but the feeling that something was about to happen wouldn't leave him. The most disturbing thing was what happened that night. After a long day of work, João received an anonymous message on his phone. The message said, "What you're looking for is closer than you think. Don't hide." He froze. The number was unknown, and there were no clues as to who might be behind it. But the message seemed to be a reflection of the conversation he had with the woman. In the following days, encounters with the woman became more frequent. She appeared suddenly in unexpected places. In a cafe, on his way to work, in a bookstore he frequented. Every time he saw her, something inside him stirred, and her words echoed in his mind. "What you don't remember will come back to find you." But what did she mean by that? João started questioning his own life. What didn't he remember? He had always been a rational person, but all of this was starting to break down his beliefs. When he began to realize that his encounters with the woman coincided with events from his childhood, he no longer knew what to think. How did she know those memories? And why couldn't he remember everything? Weeks passed, and the mystery deepened. João could no longer distinguish what was real from what wasn't. He began having vivid dreams with the woman, where she guided him through an unknown path, always with the same words. "You are looking for something inside you, but you are not ready to find it." It was one night, while walking through the city, that he had the encounter that would change everything. He met the woman again, but this time, she was different. Her eyes no longer carried the same calm confidence. There was an urgency in her expression. "Are you ready to see the truth?" she asked. Joao didn't know what to say. He wasn't sure he was ready for it, but some invisible force made him continue forward. "Then come with me," she said, and Joao followed her without hesitation. She led him to an unfamiliar place, an old abandoned building on the outskirts of the city. Inside, he finally understood. What he had forgotten, what she had been trying to tell him, was that the woman was a manifestation of his own mind, something he had suppressed for years. She was guiding him back to memories he had forgotten, memories from his childhood, of a secret he was never supposed to forget. The experience changed him forever. The truth about his past, the truth he didn't want to face, was there, before his eyes. And finally, he understood what she had meant. What he was looking for was inside him all along, and the woman, the manifestation of his own subconscious, was just a reflection of what he had buried. Joao returned to his life, but everything was different now. He would never be the same. The experience he went through changed him forever, and he learned that sometimes what we fear most is not the future, but what we have failed to notice in the past. Want to know more about this story and many others we still have to share? Then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every day, a new story comes straight from our mysterious archive, filled with tales and accounts we've gathered from various sources. Cases with stories that will give you chills. Also, don't forget to share this video with that friend of yours who loves a good mystery.